Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's Drivecast. Coming through. An obligation from me to you. Driving through the village, must remember to take down the for sale sign. Because the house is sold now. Interesting, the people who laughed at me when I put up the for sale sign. That'll not work. Why do you need to do that? Oh, such a large investment. Does anyone get anything? Does anyone understand the obligatory nature of life? I don't think that they do. Time will tell. Well, that's only if you don't know right now that time will tell. Anyway, it's minus... I said -4 when I got in the car. It's now saying -1. What does that mean? Ice is nice? Maybe the roads will be a little bit slippery. We shall see. A little bit late this morning, which means I get the crazy hour traffic. The crazy hour traffic is everyone who's late trying to be early. That doesn't work. That really doesn't work. But you can try, I suppose. I tried. I did my best. Yes. Yes, and where did that get you? So what's next? Next is understanding that you have to give up some things sometimes. You have to put down some things sometimes. You have to let go of some things sometimes. It's understanding that there's sacrifice in all progress, because you can't do everything all of the time. Sometimes you just need to select 1 or 2 things and do them well. Just passing the spot where I was stopped by the police last night for the 4th time in about the last 6 weeks. Not for doing anything wrong, just to check. Just to check. Who'd want a job like that? Standing out in the cold. checking people. Don't we all have bigger, brighter and better things to do? Hopefully we do. Hopefully we can define our own obligations. My favourite drivers in the world are people who drive right up behind me as close as possible and then don't overtake. Finally, thank you very much. You is welcome, mate. Ugh. I slept on my face last night. Theoretically, that's not supposed to be possible. I woke up and went and looked in the bathroom mirror. And my whole face was red. And my nose was kind of red and squished. I looked like one of Santa's reindeer. What does it mean? What does it mean to be where you are? What does it mean to go where you need to go? Who writes the rules? Who decides? Who makes these choices in our lives? What a difference a day makes. Confronting a new idea. A meeting that might change the world. Grab it. Grab it like a rabbit. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. The castle on the hill. Is huge. More police. They're still doing this. Must be the pre-Christmas rush. I was trying to decide last night if I appreciate the fact that the police are stopping people or not. And although it's relatively annoying, I'd much rather they were there than not there. Even if the chances of them catching somebody are... I mean, it's this pretense of drink driving, but they also want to check your insurance and check your registration and check you, check your car. But I guess it's good that they're there. I guess it's good that they do their thing. What if they were not there? What would happen if they were not there? Well, in this region, you would have the human ego asserting its presence over every human soul. That's what you would have. In 1,000 more tiny crosses staked into the ground at the side of the road. I guess that's what you'd have. Where is everyone going this morning? Why does Christmas become so crazy at the end of the year? Everyone contacts me and says, "Oh, I don't have any time." Really? Really? What is so important? I mean, it all begins again where it ends. As the song says, we're all magic friends. Hello. You fool. Why do they call it pop music? Because it's just a bubble. That's why. No, it's because of the word popular. It's a word game. It's a word game. All bubbles pop eventually. Or if they don't pop, they just kind of sag into nothingness. It's true for a lot of life, I suppose. The dreams we have inflate us. We're carried by them. Slowly but surely towards a towards an ever-distant horizon. A horizontal line marking the visible boundaries between worlds. Worlds that stimulated our quest for adventure. Our thirst for knowledge. We all live fantastical lives in fantasy worlds. If you think about how much data the human mind receives every second, and then you think about how the mind filters that data. Think about how the data comes in through the senses, the five senses. And maybe more if you have heightened awareness. And this information is filtered almost automatically through a reptilian principle of threats or threat-based logic of immediacy. And so we perceive 0.001% or around that. We perceive only a tiniest fraction of what is perceptible. That's what we perceive. Less than reality becomes reality. And our brain creates this graphic interpretation. Some say it's holographic. I don't know. Maybe it is. Scientists argue. I always argue that observation is important. Observation is vital. Observation is life. It's interesting on the particle level of science, which is the conscience. The study of ourselves. Trying to understand the man in the mirror. It's interesting how observation changes reality. How information changes situations. To serve, to observe, to deliver information. It's interesting how in science at the particle level, the observed results, the results of an observed experiment can be different. Oh wow, look at that sky. There's colors I can't even describe. I don't. It's like a broad brush of pinks and blues have been strafed across the sky. On one side. And on the other side it's just dark. Must be nice to live in one of those houses on the hill and wake up in the morning to that kind of sunrise. It's very beautiful. And the way that the smoke from the fireplaces and the heating systems just goes straight up. And then at some point disappears. So this principle of observation. Where am I supposed to go? Look, you're going too fast behind me. You've just decided to speed up and go the same speed on that side. Okay. So what happens is that when you attempt to measure an experiment, you get a result, obviously. But this result changes depending upon how you observe the experiment. What this means is you can do experiment A, study all the process of the experiment in detail and get a result. Let's call the result X. And then you can do experiment A again, not measure or observe any processes of the experiment and get result Y. And why? No one is really sure except for the principle according to science that observation changes, perhaps even creates reality. And what is observation? Observation is just awareness. That's all it is. It's just understanding. It's the practical application of knowledge. That's all it is. What is a dream? What is reality? And what is the difference between a dream and reality? Is a dream everything that it may seem? Is there something in between? Stationary for a moment, not moving, caught in a contemplatory second. The choices we make are the decisions we take. Are the chances that we awaken. So I move. I move and I observe. I move from a room with a view to a room with no view. That's life, I suppose. Some days you're feeling good, some days you're feeling bad. And if you're always happy, someone else is always sad. Childhood memories tease the adult brain. Giving me food for thought. Contemplation. A plate of nourishment for the mind. So every time when I park here, there's this car that's always parked across at least 2 parking spaces. This morning it was parked across 4. What does that even mean? Kadoomf as I bump and drop the mic. What does that even mean? Parked across 4 parking places. I'll tell you what it means. It means the person doesn't give a fuck. About anything. Oh, they say they do, but they don't. Just like you say you will, but you won't. By our actions. We are owned by our actions. There we go. I don't know if there'll be another Drivecast. I don't know if there'll be a point. We shall see as we wind down thoughts from this town. Speak to you soon.